On this video, we'll be grading every first round pick from the 2021 NFL Draft. Let's jump right in, shall we? So, number 32, Joe Tryon, C. He wasn't a bad pick, but he played less than 50% of the Buccaneers' defensive snaps, which isn't particularly good for a first round pick. I understand the Bucs probably picked him up to prepare for this year, so expect him to have a way better season in 2022. Number 31, Odafe Oweh, A-. He was part of the Orlando Brown trade package acquired from the Chiefs, and well, it pretty much turned out very well for the Ravens. He totaled 5 sacks and 3 forced fumbles, being a bright part of a decimated Ravens defense. Great pick overall. Number 30, Gregory Rousseau, B. With 4 sacks and 1 interception, Rousseau seemed to be a solid pick for the Bills, helping them to have the best statistical defense last season. Expect bigger things for him in 2022. Number 29, Eric Stokes, B+. He allowed under 50% completion percentage and was amazing at coverage most of the time. The Packers found a very solid cornerback on him, and he seems to be a reliable starter. Number 28, Payton Turner, B-. He showed he can be a game record for the Saints, but unfortunately for him, injuries ended his season just 5 weeks in. He's set to have a breakout year in 2022 though, so expect good things in the future for him. Number 27, Rashod Bateman, C+. He totaled over 500 yards and made his case for a trustworthy Ravens wideout. However, he did miss 5 games and wasn't able to establish a solid connection with Lamar Jackson. Next year, he should have a way better season. Number 26, Greg Newsome, A. One stat that stands out for Newsome is that he only allowed 1 touchdown throughout all his coverage snaps. He has a very bright future, and despite missing some games in 2021, he was a great pickup by the Browns. Number 25, Travis Etienne. Well, no grade. To be honest, I'm not a huge fan of this pick, not because Etienne isn't good, but because the Jaguars already have a great running back in James Robinson. But it doesn't really matter because unfortunately Etienne couldn't play a single game last season, which is the reason his grade is yet to be determined. Number 24, Najee Harris, A+. Taking a running back round 1 isn't usually a good move. However, Harris totally carried the Steelers' offense, having over 1,500 total yards with one of the worst offensive lines in Steelers history. Number 23, Christian Darrisaw, B+. He was a very solid piece in a not very good Vikings offensive line. Consider he allowed only 5 sacks in over 600 snaps, which is beyond good for any lineman. I'm confident he's gonna be a star in the league sooner rather than later. Number 22, Farley, no grade. Sadly for him, he suffered a torn ACL in week 6, which forced him to miss the rest of the season. He showed some talent on the games he did play though, but not enough for him to get a good grade just yet. Number 21, Kwity Paye, B-. He had some solid stats in his rookie season, totaling 4 sacks and 1 forced fumble. However, most of us probably expected more from him on year 1. Still, it was a very good season for Paye, and he should be better next year. Number 20, Kadarius Toney, C. He played less than 50% of the Giants' offensive snaps and didn't even reach 500 yards. Yeah, he had a somewhat good rookie season, but you expect way more production for a first-round pick. Number 19, Jamin Davis, D. Having just 1 sack throughout the whole last year, it could be time to call Davis officially a bust. He never really showed any sort of progress whatsoever, and to be honest, he doesn't seem to be a very good NFL player. But hey, everyone can have a comeback season, so let's see what 2022 has for him. Number 18, Jaelan Philips, A+. In my opinion, this was one of the best draft picks in terms of value. Philips had 8.5 sacks and 15 quarterback hits, which made up for an amazing rookie season. I genuinely expect great things coming his way next year. Number 17, Alex Leatherwood, C-. He was the reach of the draft since the beginning. He did show some progress throughout the season as he transitioned to guard, but he wasn't able to put first-round worthy stats. Number 16, Zaven Collins, C- as well. I'm not a huge fan of the idea of drafting a linebacker in round 1 in back-to-back years. Collins did put up some good numbers, but he was barely used, playing less than 20% of the team snaps. Number 15, Mac Jones, A-. Somehow, the Patriots got who seems to be a franchise quarterback with the 15th overall pick. He wasn't perfect, but he had a very solid season considering he even was contending for the Offensive Rookie of the Year award. Number 14, Alijah Vera-Tucker, B+. He allowed only 2 sacks in the whole year and was pretty much a stud for the Jets. Trading up for him might have been a very good decision, expect an even better year 2 from Vera-Tucker. Number 13, Rashawn Slater, A+. Being selected to the Pro Bowl as a rookie offensive lineman isn't particularly easy. However, Slater certainly was an elite player in 2021. His contribution to the Chargers O-line was huge, and he still has some room to grow. Number 12, Micah Parsons, A++. Well, there shouldn't even be an explanation to this one, right? Parsons was in the Defensive Player of the Year award conversation while being a rookie, and he seems to have what it takes to be one of the best players in the entire league. Number 11, Justin Fields, C. Although his production was limited by coach Matt Nagy, I didn't really saw anything surprising from the Bears' new QB. He has a lot of potential though, but if the Bears want him to be successful, they'll need to give him some better scenarios. On to the top 10 now, DeVonta Smith, A+. The Heisman Trophy winner had a very solid season with the Eagles. Totaling over 900 yards in his rookie year, Smith definitely seems to be forming a connection with quarterback Jalen Hurts, and I'm all in for it. Number 9, Patrick Surtain, A+. I, as many other NFL fans, were expecting the Broncos to take a QB here. However, Surtain definitely seems as the right pick now. Opposing QBs throwing towards his way had a 61.3 passer rating. That is an amazing stat for a rookie cornerback. Number 8, Jaycee Horn, no grade. He has a lot of talent and potential, but a fractured foot put an early end to his season. 3 games is never really enough to grade a player, but Horn could end up being an elite cornerback next year. Let's see what happens. Number 7, Penei Sewell, B. He allowed only 5 sacks out of over 1,000 snaps and seems to be a solid piece for the Lions' offensive line. His numbers were amazing on his rookie season, and well, they could even get better as he establishes himself into the league. Number 6, Jaylen Waddle, A+. Waddle's reunion with Tua Tagovailoa went better than expected, with Waddle breaking the single-season receptions record with 104. This duo could tear apart defenses next year, so better watch out. Number 5, Ja'Marr Chase, A++. Just as Micah Parsons, there's not a lot of explanation to do here. Chase had an historical rookie season and established himself as the number 1 target for LSU teammate Joe Burrow. This duo is certainly one of the scariest ones across the entire league. Number 4, Kyle Pitts, A+. The highest graded tight end in recent history showed why he was a top 5 pick. He totaled over 1,000 yards and already established himself as one of the best tight ends in the entire league. Great things are certainly coming his way. Number 3, Trey Lance, no grade. He was a long-term plan for Niners since the beginning. He did have some playing time, but not nearly enough to give him a grade. He could be well developed in San Francisco and become a great quarterback, but we'll have to wait and see until next season. Number 2, Zach Wilson, B-. I think Wilson could end up having a breakout season next year. He had somewhat solid rookie season despite some mistakes. His situation was awful, but he seems to be getting used to the Jets system. And finally, the first overall pick, Trevor Lawrence, C+. He was the highest graded prospect since Andrew Luck, and well, he didn't quite deliver as expected. But to be fair, we can't really judge him since he had arguably the worst scenario in the entire league. He's set to have a much better year in 2022, and the Jaguars seem to be looking to add more weapons for him. And well, that's all for today's video. If you like it, make sure to check out some of my other stuff. Let me know what you think about these grades, and until next time, goodbye.